What's going on YouTube? In today's video, we're going to be going over what's more comfortable, the 991 V2 or the 990 V6.
Is it a sign? Should I know every time? Wake up telling dreams, yours my vivid mind.
So if you've seen some of my other videos, I praise the 990 V6 on comfort more than any other shoe. I think this is the most comfortable shoe of all time. That is until I got the 991 V2 and a real discussion began. I've had the 991 V2 for probably about 2.5 months, and I will say, whenever I leave the house and I'm like, what shoe am I going to wear? It's almost 9 out of 10 times the 991 V2. I absolutely love this shoe, and there's really no reason to it. It's just a perfect gray New Balance. So both of these shoes are New Balance. They're both made models, which means they're made in a specific country. So the 990 is made in the United States, and the 991 is made in England. Now, there's no quality difference. They're both 10 out of 10 on quality, just because one's made in the US and one's made in the UK. There's really no like quality sacrifices made in either or. They're both beautifully made, handcrafted. They're just absolutely perfectly well-made shoes that are made to last with the utmost quality. There is no quality sacrifice in making either of these pairs. So if you were to ask me my top 5 shoes of all time, both of these would make the top 5. I still don't know which one I like more based on looks, but they're both amazing, amazing, amazing shoes, because when I first got this, I wore this almost every single day, and now like that's kind of what this is filling in for, is the 991 is just my everyday driver. For overall appearance, they're different shoes. You could definitely tell they're different models. I mean, some untrained eye, just some random person is going to think these are the exact same shoe, but they're not. You got the big N on the 990 V6 and then the little N on the 991. The suede's a little bit darker on the 991. It's a little more tannish. I would say a little darker. You have these obvious pods on the side of the midsole for the 991 that kind of separate from the 990 V6. When I first put on the 991, I was like, it was like a comfort I've never felt before. It feels almost like a gel comfort, like, you know, like a gel material. It's kind of what it feels like. There is so much technology placed in this 991 V2. You got these SBS pods, you have NCAP, and you also have fuel cell. So that's 3 technologies all placed into one New Balance, whereas the 990 V6 only has fuel cell and NCAP. Now, I believe the 990 V6 was one of the first New Balance 990 models or made models to feature fuel cell. I think that's what makes this so much more comfortable compared to the V5s, the V4s, and all of its predecessors. But I mean, the fuel cell really takes that comfort and puts it on a new level. But going back to the comfort of the 991 V2, it does have 3 pieces of technology, and I think it's probably New Balance's most high-tech midsole. I put it on, it was like a whole different type of comfort. It's almost not even comparable to like another 990. You do get that firm heel, as always, because of the end cap. But you also get like this gel feeling where like the heel, you can feel like the cup of the heel like around the end. Kind of, it's like, it's so hard to explain. You would have to wear the shoe to understand what I'm talking about. But it's a very unique comfort, and I remember putting it on like, oh my gosh, this is more comfortable than the 990 V6. And then I was like, wait, are these comparable in comfort? So I sat down and I figured out I wore one each day, and I would just figure out which one is more comfortable in my opinion. Not based off of midsole, but as far as like the toe box and like the overall comfort of like how your foot fits in the shoe, I would say the 990 V6 takes the win on that. The only reason because of that is the 990 V6 features this nice big toe box, this wide toe box, and the shoe almost raises up. As you can see, the midsole curves up like that. It did in the beginning, and it also does as you wear it. And I think that just allows your foot to just rest there. Whereas the 991 V2, you kind of have like this big midsole, this big heel, and it kind of thins out. I mean, all shoes have a millimeter drop from heel to toe. This one seems little more aggressive than the 990 V6, but it's not a big deal. Sometimes I kind of also experience this in the 998, which is why I kind of don't like the 998, is because of that millimeter drop kind of thins out a little too much here, and that your toes feel almost crammed in the shoe. But I mean, that I'm comparing that to a 990 V6. I'm not saying my toes are crammed and uncomfortable. by all means, they're extremely comfortable, but just compared to a 990 V6. The 991, like I said, has a gel comfort feel. I mean, it's not super squishy, but it's also not super firm. The 990 V6 is super squishy, and I think that's what makes it comfortable. It feels like a cloud, whereas all day comfort, you're going to get a squishy feel in this, and then you're going to get a gel feel in this. Now, if I'm walking all day, I would always say I'd wear the 990 V6 because of that squishiness comfort, that pillow comfort. But say I'm walking all day, I'm going to go with the 991 V2 on this because I think that gel comfort feels better all day long as far as that squishy, pillowy feel. They're both extremely comfortable all day, but I'm going to take the 991 V2 on that. The 990 V6, it really rolls your step. Like you put your heel on the ground and your toe, it's so smooth and just, it's a very good feel. That's why I think it's a great running shoe, is because it kind of rolls you forward, and that's what makes the 990 V6 different from any other 990. Whereas the 991 V2, it relates kind of like a V4 or a V5, where that heel is kind of firm and it like you're stable going down, and then you slowly roll into your step. They're both extremely comfortable, but as far as like just step to step, the 990 V6 takes the win. So if I'm gonna say, after all this discussion, what's the most comfortable shoe? I want to give these both a 10 out of 10, but in my opinion, I wore one of these on each foot, and the 990 V6 is clearly the winner in my opinion. It's just so squishy, so comfortable, so freeing. I think this is the king of comfort. The 990 V6 beats any other New Balance and the made models. It's the most comfortable shoe of all time. Now, maybe once the 991 gets broken in more and I get a year wear out of this, it's going to be just as comfortable. I don't know. We'll see. But I'm wearing this guy a lot, so only time will tell. So the 990 V6 is more comfortable than the 991 V2 in my opinion. Let me know what your thoughts are, and have a great day.